Listen to the Healing Guides podcast with Hannah on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts. So, this episode, I just want to share very excellent websites basically to find a job. When I say job, I mean like the really good ones, the jobs that you would say the departments or the areas you're working in are high level, like they're really great companies, like government ones. The environment, you're going to just have the quality at least to be around. The human beings who you would say are the most educated, the most healthy in their character, just very decent, professional, healthy, workplaces rather than just any employer because anyone can start a company. So obviously, there's going to always be those companies that usually will flood Indeed and Glassdoor and those websites. They flood it, and they're actually really lowly, shabby, horrible employers. They're not real, actual employers. You get me? So you're gonna obviously then see a lot of weird human beings getting hired there, and you're gonna feel sick if you're not like that. So I'm trying to inspire you to go to these healthy, wonderful places you can work in. There's weird people everywhere, obviously, but the environment, you get me, is at least good and safe and secure and professional, and it's very easy to get harassed or get fired from these jobs because the environment doesn't promote it. It's like a government place, or the workplace is just really good one. You can at least fight for your job and protect yourself from those sort of envious people that are always at every job trying to sabotage people's work. So you also want to, even if you're, let's say, doing a cashier job, you always want to work at a company that's high level. The employer is really big and wealthy and healthy like that. It's always good to work for places like that. So I'm trying to inspire you if that's what you want. So basically pick a state. Okay, let's say you want to go to another state or even the one you're in. Pick a state based on the type of vibe, the type of people, the type of person you are, where you would fit most, the type of people you fit with. Um, you get me? So it's going to be northern or southern. So some people are going to like northern states more. Some people are going to like southern more, for example. Like, for example, if the person's African American, they're going to want to probably be in southern states. That's just where, their people are mostly in. It's like that. Um, Everyone's obviously diversely everywhere. I'm just saying the idea, the vibe, the state is determined greatly by the majority who live there. There's a certain vibe or culture or energy that it has, a certain level of, good or bad that it has. You get the point. Every state is unique in its own way. So where you fit is where you want to go. Don't just go to a nice state because it has good resources. Every state has great resources. You want to go where you fit. You get me? Like the people are like you. I don't mean race or ethnicity. I mean your type of personality, your type of like the type of person you are. You're professional, polite, quiet, respectful, healthy, decent person. You're gonna want to probably be in northern states. That's just what it is. There's nothing I can do about that. Some states are crazy as hell, and it is what it is. There's nothing I can do. I've observed, and that's what I've learned. So, anyways, pick a state, okay? Wherever you want to go. Then basically go on Google and be like, write the state, right? And say jobs in, okay, and then write the state, okay? So for example, jobs in, right? Let's say you say Utah. Okay, when you go on Google and you write down jobs in Utah, then go down, keep going, ignore Indeed and all those websites that come up. Don't go to governmentjobs.com. That website is annoying as hell. I don't like that website unless you specifically want to be stuck with the type of companies they give you. Specific type of government jobs. They usually don't hire. It's very hard. I would rather push you to these other websites I found that are much more, able to hire you. It's not going to be as hard to get a job with them. And that is the one that is more actually the state. You get me? Because government jobs, that's general. Even though they're going to obviously be specific to the state you typed in, still, you get me? That's just a website called governmentjobs.com. So I'm not advising that one. If you want to use that, that's your choice. But the ones I'm advising are keep scrolling, keep scrolling. You're going to find one that says the state's name. You get me? Like, so some are going to say the state's name and then .gov. So like, for example, utah.gov, or you know what I mean? Like something like that. They're going to just say the name like that, but then .gov. And that's kind of like their own website, that state where they're going to post all their sort of state, jobs, the whole state. Basically, they're going to, all the employers are going to be able to post their jobs there. Okay, but you're going to get the best employers. You get me? Not some small company over here that's really weird. And some of them are doing jobs that don't even benefit society, like some random call center that does some sort of verification for something that doesn't matter. Their jobs like that, their employees like that. What they do is not important to humanity. It's useless. Like, you know what I mean? Just some horrible jobs are out there, just horrible companies. What they do is not even valuable. So these types of government sort of employers, right? Or the employers are big as well and they're not government, they're at least you're gonna have jobs that are valuable, the environment is gonna be better. Okay, so something like that, right? The state's name and then .gov. Okay, then the other one is state of, right? Careers.com. So whatever the state is you picked. So for example, let's use it Utah as an example. I'm just making this up. This is how they're all written. They just changed the state name. It's gonna be like state of Utah careers. That's what it's gonna say on the website. Um, and then the actual, URL is gonna be like statecareers.utah.gov, like that. So look for websites that have that. It's just that for you, instead of Utah, it's gonna say the state that you selected. So it's like the same website, right? But it's based on the state. They're gonna change that for you. It's another sort of government website to get jobs for the whole state. Again, it's not government jobs only. You get me? Is the whole state. The employers are able to post their jobs, so you're gonna get a variety of employers. It's just that it's like a government website. Therefore, you're getting the best. You know what I mean? The best companies to post because they're gonna obviously do their best to filter out the weird ones and the scam ones. Um, and since it's like a government website, you get me? Big employers obviously would rather post their jobs there because they respect it more. They feel like they're gonna get good employees who are educated and who at least know such websites, right? Because people who don't know much, they're probably just gonna go on Indeed. Whatever they see, they're gonna click apply. They might get a job as a cashier their whole life because they don't have the education, they don't have the resource, sadly, to know that there's right just an abundance of employers, big jobs that they can do that pay them 20, 30 something an hour without requiring any experience, without requiring any college degree. You get me? If you don't know, if you haven't gotten this type of knowledge about how to get jobs in this country, you're always going to think based on your education or based on just what you know, right? You haven't done that job yet. You're always going to think then you can't get the job. I've had jobs that I've never done, like clinic assistant, for example. I've never done a job as a clinic assistant before I got a job as a clinic assistant. You get me? Like, I didn't do something similar to it necessarily. I just got that job. You get me? So some jobs, right, we can get them without having necessarily done some experience prior, because that's just dumb. How are you then gonna get the experience? They usually just look for something else you did in terms of job duties that are similar to that, right? So let's say, for example, you've done customer service a lot. Okay, administrative and office jobs are also for you. You know what I mean? But let's say you don't want that. You want to leave the sort of office or corporate. You don't want to sit. Okay, then there's other jobs that will still the skills that you attain from that, right? There's other jobs that want that sort of face-to-face interaction with people. They still want that, but it's not maybe necessarily customers. Who knows? Like that, you don't know that there are jobs that are easy to get, that don't require much, but then they pay a lot because you just don't know. Sadly, that's what I've learned. We just don't know. As human beings, we just go online. Maybe someone told us, or we just naturally find Google. The first websites that pop up are Indeed. It's a horrible website because the most dumbest companies come there and they flood it. And for example, hospital jobs, even though hospitals are big corporations, still they're gonna post their job over and over and over and over again. You're never gonna see the other companies. So these websites, you get me, that I'm recommending, they're controlled. You can't do that to the website. You can't post what you want all day. You're playing around with it. So that's why it's better to look for jobs here, because it's actually a website that people are monitoring and controlling, and every job is only posted once. You get me? And the employer and all the information you need is structured. It's perfect. So please look for jobs this way. For example, let's say Idaho. If I type in Idaho in Google, I'm going to see idahoworks.gov. Okay, that's website. That's one website. And then I'm going to also see the other one I mentioned, statecareers.idaho.gov. You know, the one that says um, state of and then careers, right? So state of Idaho careers is what it says in terms of like the name that comes up. But then the actual URL that you would type in, the website, it would say statecareers.idaho.gov. So see, they're two government websites, but they're different, right? Their names are different. The other ones would always be, that I mentioned, governmentjobs.com, but it's specifically for Idaho. So that's the other one. You know what I mean? Stop wasting your time on ZipRecruiter and Monster Jobs and LinkedIn. I'm sick and tired of these websites because literally anyone can come there. There's a lot of scam, but then also the best employers don't come to it. That's what I'm saying. The best employers are literally going to these websites that I'm sharing right now, like usually government websites. And that's why we usually don't see those types of employers. Like there's employers that I see that I'm like, where did you come from? I didn't know you existed. Because, right, we just are used to retail and um, these sort of in our face type of companies, right? Like the restaurants in front of you, the fast foods in front of you, the grocery stores. That's what we're seeing every day as a business, correct? Because it's in our face. Those are the ones that then, the devil, I guess, pushes your mind to think you should go apply to. When there's companies way over there that are large and big and they have great workplaces, they have great benefits, they have high salaries. They're going to help you with your education, they're going to help you get promoted. It's going to be easy to even protect your job because the type of people there are not necessarily, crazy, but if a job is easy, you would agree with me, anyone then would be there. Okay, so then a lot of bad people, not necessarily in terms of morality, because evil humans are everywhere. I just mean like the ones who don't necessarily contain themselves and act professional. You get me? The ones who just are just more comfortable being crazy at a place and they don't have the quality to want to hide their evil and just do their job. Those are the ones you're going to see obviously in easy jobs like Walmart. Okay, so you don't obviously want to go there unless you're a teenager. That's when it fits you. But when you're an adult, you want to work for big employers where people are actually acting professional and mature. You get me? You're not scared to be harassed by weirdos. Okay, and I'm talking about harassment so much because that's what I dealt with. Everywhere I went, there was just weirdos harassing me, and they look weirdo, so it's not even hard to know. You get me? So it's easy to know where they get a job and how I can avoid them because I know how they got a job. They took the easy way. Obviously, they're not always educated enough to know about these big companies. They just get any easy job. So when I was younger, was just getting easy jobs because I'm in school, then of course I'm going to be surrounded more by these older, creepy, weird human beings. You get me? Versus those who are educated and really take their job seriously and love their passion. I mean, love their career as a passion and they're more disciplined and okay. They're not going to work for these small companies, correct? They're going to go work in big places because they have more education and more experience and their personality and their character is more moral. They're gonna just be the ones who are doing the jobs in the country that you would say is making the country work or flourish every day, even though the smaller jobs in society are important too. You get what I'm saying? Evil humans are everywhere. I'm just saying, the bigger you go, right, into better, bigger employers, the ones way over there are more human and more professional and more respectful. And then the evil ones there, they're gonna contain themselves because obviously they don't want to be seen that way. They don't want to be fired or whatever. They actually really, you get me, push themselves to be professional and not harass somebody. You get me? Because the environment doesn't support that. It's like a government place. It doesn't really fit. But these other companies, by just small companies, human beings who work there feel like they can do whatever they want because they don't respect the employer. It's not a big company. It's not. I don't mean big necessarily as in like size of the company. I just mean like it's not important company. So do that. You get me? It's on a government website. There's so many of them. I literally, was seeing the best jobs that you can ever look for. Even a job where you're doing something similar to what a cashier does, just a mixture of those tasks. Like the salary is so high, you get me? Because the environment is just different. So you're gonna see great jobs that you're like, wait a minute, I have that experience, you know? And the environment is really a big company, a great workplace, great benefits, high salary. And you're thinking, wow, my skills could give me that kind of lifestyle. And here I am looking for small little 15 an hour jobs. You get me? You're gonna realize you can do more than this. Okay, and then what was the other stuff I was gonna say? usajobs.gov as well. Go to that one. So I'll just recommend this for now. I'll just stop this here. If I think of anything else, I'll do that. So you don't even have to type in anything. Don't do that. You're going to burden yourself. You know what I mean? Don't type in something like customer service or IT. Don't do that. Actually, unless you're specifically looking for that. But no, don't do that because I want you to know that there's jobs you can just do with the skills you have that you might like more than the one you were specifically looking for. You get me? So you don't know what jobs are out there that you actually could do and like. If you're putting yourself in a box and always typing in one type of specific job, you get me, like administrative assistant, then you're always going to see that, and all the other jobs you could have done that are similar to that, or that you don't, that are not similar to that, but are really great jobs that you would like. You're not going to see them, correct? Because you limited yourself. So don't limit yourself. Just make the filters that you're selecting specific things like full time, maybe the salary, stuff like that. Make it generic, at least what type of hours, when you want to work, the type of salary, that stuff you pick. But let the website show you everything and go through it. You might find a job that you're like, wow, I want this one. And you haven't even thought of that before. You get me? But you're not going to see that if you select a specific key term and write that down, like office support. You get me? You might miss a job over there that has nothing to do with office support that is way better for you. So do that when you're looking for jobs too. And these employers are not going to play around with you or disrespect you as much because, again, they're professional, really good employees because they're usually connected to the government, some of them. So even if they're going to reject you, it's going to be more natural, more professional. You're going to feel safe. You get me? They're not going to play around with you because it's not just a regular person in society who, right, is just using their human free will to bully whoever applies to their company. These are government jobs usually, so you get me? They have to conduct themselves better. That's just what it is. So okay, take care of yourself and use these resources. Ask God. I asked him so many times, what state am I supposed to go to? I don't hear anything. I cannot hear what God is telling me. But there's just this sort of knowing, right? There's certain states that I just know that I could go to. And I'm just doing my best. I picked one, but let's just hope I don't have to go to another one. Because I just pick what I like. You get me? God doesn't necessarily limit you. If you like this state, He's not going to necessarily say, I won't help you get a job there. You get what I mean? It's just that you might want to be in a state that's not healthy for you, etc. That's when God will not let you. Or when there's a transition He wants you to go through. Your breakthrough is over there, not here. Or you don't belong in this state. You came here because you became a very unhealthy and a sinful person and you got into bad lifestyles. And okay, then you move to the wrong places. Like some people go, you get what I mean? Because of that. And of course, God won't necessarily give you a job there. He wants you to get out. Okay, he wants you to go to places where you used to be in, right? More friendlier, happier, healthier, safer states that someone like you would fit into. Wow, the place you went to fits those humans who are crazy, okay, who are more sinful and into clubs and all that weird lifestyles. And you get me? They're looking for jobs where they're doing a lot of sin, a lot of bad things. That's where they're gonna flow, okay? But God wants to save your soul. He'll push you to a healthy, safe state at least, so you can then build your life this way, this healthier way. So, in the meantime, before I leave this country, I have to at least go to another state and stabilize everything and do certain things. I have some things I need to do first. I tried to leave many times, but God won't let me. Okay, so fine. I know what the reason is. I just need to first complete those missions or those things I need to do. And then I can really, start my businesses, and do whatever it is that I can do to fulfill my own dreams. And then I can leave this country. So you have to look into your plans. Have long-term and short-term goals for yourself. Don't just sit there thinking this is it. No, this world is big and there's so much you can do. And I always advise you to do things to help others. So, get a job, be loyal if you want to. That's your choice. But if that's not your end, okay, then you know what to do.